Moon's grace. It can't be. Impossible.
The carriage smelled like dust and surrender. My father traded me for 3 chests of silver and 10 years of peace. Blackwood Hold didn't greet me like a bride. It received me like a cargo. The ceremony took less than 15 minutes. No kiss. No warmth. Just terms wrapped in sacred words.
Your quarters, lady.
A tower cell with a title on it was still a cell. A beta. Good for support, good for labor, good for being traded.
This is the arrangement. A union to settle a border dispute, nothing more. You will stay here. You will be quiet. You will not interfere in pack affairs. You will appear in public when required. In return, you will have shelter and protection, such as it is. Do you understand?
I understand, Alpha.
The Alpha requests your presence in the main hall for the evening meal. Wear this.
Crying was done. It solved nothing. Lost, little bride. I heard we had a new edition from the Winter Pack, a beta. What does our Alpha's new consort think of Blackwood Hold? I am not lost. We don't keep livestock in the main hall here.
Look at me when I'm speaking to you! A proper welcome to Blackwood. Remember your place, Vater. He only married you for land. Don't get ideas.
Shame was contagious here. No one wanted it touching them. "7, 12, 16. Every year had taught me the same lesson in a different voice. Not for you. Not chosen. Fair price. Then the cold room betrayed me with a new sensation. Deep under the skin. Not shame. Not fever. Something else.
Evelyn.
A place for unimportant guests or inconvenient wives. sharp pang hits between my shoulder blades.
Are you unwell?
No, it's nothing. A chill. Running back to your nest so soon, little bird? You'll tell your husband? True. All true.
The warmth returned. Faint, persistent, not sickness this time. A promise, dangerous and silent. Too heavy, too deliberate, not an animal.
Well, well. The new little bride, all alone in her high tower.
Who are you?
Cassius, of the Bloodfang pack. We share a lively border with your new husband. What does anyone want on a wedding night? To offer congratulations? Tell me, little mouse, does the great Alpha Blackwood even know you're here? Or did he forget his new toy already?
Get out.
Or what? You'll scream? Let's see how long it takes your husband to come running. If he comes at all. A message needs to be sent. And what better message than to return his bride to him in pieces?
No one is coming. No one. The heat in my spine didn't flare. It detonated.
Moon's grace. It can't be.
He didn't call me wife. He didn't call for guards. He looked at me like a legend had just torn open in his hands.
Impossible. The mark. By the fallen gods. The mark of the moon.
Cassius, you trespass. You dare. You fool-lined, arrogant fool. You brought a kingmaker into your house and thought she was a beta. Then I was a lioness to dolphin. My God. Get up. Leave. Now. And if you value the continued existence of your pack, you will speak of this to no one.
You can't hold her. You don't have the right. No one Alpha does. She belongs to all of us. Or to none.
She is my wife, under my protection, and you are in my territory. Your choice. A clean death now, or a slow one after I hunt down every last one of your Bloodfang curse.
He covered me before he questioned me, before he questioned the power.
The secret is already too big for you, Bloodfang. Last chance. Crawl back to your mountains. Forget what you saw.
This isn't over, Blackwood. Keep her Claude your treasure well, because everyone will be coming for it now. Evelyn.
He said my name like it had become dangerous, valuable, real. What was that?
Look at me. Everything. That Evelyn changes everything. Can you stand? We can't stay here.
What are you?
Quiet.
This room was not a cage dressed as courtesy. It was a command center, his den.
The mark. You truly had no idea.
I felt warmth in my back. I thought I was ill.
You are not ill.
What is it? The mark of the moon?
A legend. A children's story. Until tonight. The stories say the moon goddess marked one wolf to unite the tribes, not by force, by mandate. The mark hasn't been seen for 1,000 years. Most thought it was a metaphor. It isn't. It's a claim. On a title every alpha with ambition will kill to possess or destroy.
So I'm not a person. I'm a throne, a key, a prize.
To them, yes.
And to you?
You are my wife. You are under the protection of Blackwood Pack. That hasn't changed.
It was not comfort. It was policy. But it was also the first promise he had ever made me.
Cassius will talk. We need our own narrative. The pack will hear that you are blessed, touched by the moon goddess's favor, a sign of good fortune for our union.
A lie.
A shield. Your only one until we understand this. You can't go back to that tower. You'll stay here, with me.
I'm a prisoner.
You're a target. Your cage just got smaller, but the bars just got stronger. Be grateful for the bars.
I cried for the life I had lost, for the power I never asked for, and for the future that had just narrowed to one locked room and one impossible man.
Sleep. The bed is yours. I'll take the chair.
My jailer had become my protector. And somewhere beyond these walls, Cassius was already running with a secret that could set the world on fire.
You can't wear that. They'll be large, but they're clean.
What happens at dawn?
I send for 3, the pack elder, the keeper of our histories.
And then?
Then we decide what truth to tell the pack.
Cassius said they'll all come for me.
He's not wrong. He'll be first. He'll gather allies. He'll paint me as a power-hungered fool hiding a weapon.
You want the power?
I want my pack to, though, survive. I want you to survive. Right now, the power is relevant if it gets us all killed.
Eat. Arcturus is on his way.
You sent word of a blessing, Lucian. You are a poor liar, boy. Now, show me.
Evelyn, the elder needs to see.
The stories were true.
What do you see, elder?
The mark of the crescent moon. Not fully formed. Sleeping. Waiting.
A beta. Of course. Not in strength, but in quietness. Not in fury, but in resilience. The goddess irony is sharp as ever.
What does it mean? What do I do?
It means, child, that you are a living covenant, a promise made flesh in an age that has forgotten how to keep promises. The rumor will spread. The mark cannot stay hidden forever. It is said the mark in one can feel the heart of the pack, their loyalties, their fears, their treacheries.
And the price?
The scrolls speak of trials, of choices, of a bond that is both salvation and sacrifice. The mark was never meant to be owned, Alpha. it chooses, and it will guide its bearer, or break her. You have already begun. You brought her into your den. You claimed her as yours before the eyes of an enemy. Now make that claim real before your pack. Show them her value. And you, child, you must learn, before the power sleeping in your blood understands you.
A covenant. A judge. I don't know how to be any of those things.
Then we learn, together, starting with the most important lesson.
What's that?
How to survive the next hour. Get dressed properly. We are announcing our blessed union to the pack. At midday, you will stand beside me. You will look like you belong there, and you will not show an ounce of fear. Put it on. Remember, you are not a prisoner today. You are my wife, the Lady of Blackwood Hold. Act like it.
And how does she act? The one you ignored and locked in a tower?
She holds her head high. She meets the eyes of those who judge her. She buries fear so deep even she can't find it.
Like this?
A start. You are moon-blessed, a sign of favor on our union. A blood-fan assassin attacked. The moon's power within you protected you and this pack. You are a boon, an omen of strength. That is all anyone needs to know.
Last night, an enemy crept into our home. A coward from Bloodfang sought to stain our hall with dishonor on the eve of a new beginning. He sought my wife. He failed. He failed because the moon goddess herself guards this union. Evelyn of Winter is not just my wife. She carries the moon's own favor. A blessing upon our pack, for all to see.
A blessing, Alpha. We saw a light. We heard the commotion. What manner of blessing repels Bloodfang assassin?
The ancient kind, Gundar. A power of protection. Our alliance with Winter has brought us more than peace. It has brought us a sign.
With respect, Alpha, a beta blessed? It is unprecedented. How can we be sure this blessing is not a danger, a law for more trouble?
Are you questioning the will of the moon, Kale, or my judgment in securing this alliance?
I question the risk to the pack.
Then you will learn, as I am learning. As my wife is learning to wield the gift she has been given for the good of all Blackwood. We do not fear a blessing. We embrace it, and we defend it.
My lady, we give thanks for the moon's protection.
The thanks are the Alphas. The blessing is for Blackwood. Moon blessed. What a pretty story. Does it explain why you smell like his sweat and fear?
Is there something you wish to say to my wife?
No, Alpha. I was just welcoming her to the high table.
Your welcome is noted. You may go. Better. But you hesitated. You waited for my cue. You must learn to answer on your own, with conviction.
I don't know the answers.
Then find them. The lie is your truth now. Believe it, or you will never survive the wolves who don't.
The first lesson, history. She is yours until the evening meal. Teach her what she is.
Sit, child. The road is long. First, understand what you are not. You are not a weapon, though many will try to forge you into one. You are not a key, though you may unlock doors long rusted shut. The mark is a covenant, a burden of choice, not a gift of power. When fully awakened, it grants the sight of souls. You will feel loyalties, deceit, devotion. You will know who serves the pack and who serves only ambition.
And then?
Then use. The marked one judges, settles shim, unites what claw and flay only divide.
The alphas would never bow to a beta.
Precisely. The goddess's final jest. Her chosen is never the obvious leader, not the strongest alpha, the one who has lived in shadow, the one who knows the cost of unity from the ground up. She didn't command. She illuminated. The power lies not in dominion, but revelation, in making the hidden undeniable. Breathe in for 4, hold for 7, release for 8. Imagine a pool of silver light at the base of your spine, calm, not chaos. The mark answers calm with clarity.
Well?
She learns, but the world will not wait for her lessons to be complete.
Come, it's time for the next part of your education.
History was one thing. This was the world that would decide whether I was worth protecting.
My wife carries the moon's blessing, but a blessing without strength is a vulnerability. She will learn to defend herself, to contribute to the pack's strength, as all members must. Gunner, start with footwork, no contact, not today.
As you command, Alpha. Copy me. Lower your center. You're a sapling in the wind. Root yourself.
I had never looked weaker than I did trying not to fall.
Moon blessed. She can't hold a stance without trembling. A strong breeze would knock her over. What good is a blessing that can't hold a knife?
Shrink. Disappear. That was always the safest choice.
She stood in front of Cassius Bloodfang and lived. Maybe the blessing isn't in her fists.
It was a small defense. It still hit like a hand catching me before I fell. Again.
Better.
In this pack, every lesson had witnesses. Some wanted me stronger. Some wanted proof I never would be. The power on my back was dangerous. But in Blackwood Hold, ignorance was deadlier. And now everyone was watching to see which one would kill me first.
The full moon is a time of peak power for all our kind. For you, it may be overwhelming. We must prepare.
You're learning to survive long enough for help to arrive. Or for your own gifts to manifest.
The training yard is never empty. Warriors train in shifts, and my lessons have turned into nothing more than a public spectacle.
The Alpha's coddling his pet. If she's so blessed, let's see her bless us with a decent fight.
The anger still lingered beneath the surface, yet I tucked it away. I'd learned to tune them all out.
Naggers.
You find my wife's training amusing, Borin?
Alpha, I only meant...
You seem so confident in your assessment of her skills. You will spar with her. Now.
The man was twice my width, a veteran warrior. It would be a massacre.
As you command, Alpha.
Gunner, padded armor, for both.
Breathe, girl. Don't think. React.
You will use only the defensive maneuvers Gunner has taught her. No strikes. Only blocks, parries, and footwork. Your goal is to evade her, to show her the respect of a proper training partner. Your goal is to land a single touch, anywhere. With your hand, your foot, your weapon. One touch.
Come on, little blessing. Let's see what you've got. Too slow. Predictable.
Is this the mighty moon's power?
Enough! The lady has made her point, quite decisively.
Are you injured? The lesson is over. Remember it. All of you.
That was not what I instructed.
You said land a touch, the ground touched him.
So it did.
You used your head, not your strength, not your gift. That is how you survive. Keep learning.
The open mockery from the warriors ceased. Borin avoided my eyes entirely, a permanent scowl on his face. In a world of strength, even a trickle of cunning earned a measure of space.
Not to kill. Stun. Then run.
You will never overpower an alpha. So you must be faster, smarter, or you must not be there when the blow lands.
The sight is stirring. It responds to strong emotion, particularly directed at you. Anger, contempt, fear, these are loud to the soul. You must learn to filter the noise, to focus on the signal.
He gave me new exercises, to sit in the great hall during meals and try to separate the general buzz of the pack's mood from individual threads. Most of the time, I failed. The terror of Cassius's attack, The disorienting burst of power, the crushing weight of my new reality, it all poured into my dreams. I'd wake gasping, tangled in furs, the phantom scent of blood and wilderness in my nose.
Another dream? Drink.
The mind processes fear when the body is safe. It is a sign you are beginning to heal, to accept the new terrain.
It doesn't feel like healing. It feels like drowning on dry land.
Cassius is marshalling his allies. Our scouts report movement along the blood-famed border, whispers in neutral territories. He's calling me a hoarder, a fool blinding his own pack with pretty lies.
What will you do?
What I must. Strengthen our defenses. Send our own messengers with a refined version of our truth. And accelerate your training.
My training?
Not just with Gonard. The pack must see the blessing as more than a story. They must see its utility. Eloise.
He began to involve me in small, public ways.
Your view on the winter herbs?
Keep the stores balanced. The pack holds better when no house is overlooked.
The cracks showed in smaller moments too. The time he noticed I'd finished the scroll Arcturus had assigned and, without a word, brought me the next one in the sequence from his own personal chest. The evening he returned from a long patrol smelling of
the border
cold
is quiet.
and horse,
No movement
and instead
worth
of
concern.
ignoring me, gave a terse report of the border's quietness, as if I had a right to know. The way he now left a clean tunic and trousers for me each morning without being asked, the clothes gradually better fitted.
It's transactional.
You're pushing too hard with Gonard.
You said to learn.
I said to survive. There is a difference. You are no good to anyone. To yourself. To this pack. Broken.
The mark responds to your physical state. Arcturus believes great stress or injury could trigger another uncontrolled awakening. We cannot have that. Not here. Not now.
Then what would you have me do?
Tomorrow you will train only in the morning. In the afternoon you will walk, here, in the upper bayand, with Rylan. You will get sun. You will not think of daggers or scrolls or enemies.
Why?
Because even weapons need to be oiled, not just hammered. The walls are watching. They need to see you are not just a thing to be guarded, but a person who can breathe without causing a cataclysm.
The next afternoon, Rylan escorted me to the upper bailey. As I completed another circuit, I saw a figure watching from a covered walkway that overlooked the bailey. Cale, Ilara's father, the head huntsman. The walls might have been watching, as Lucian said, but not all eyes held the same intent. I finished my walk, the sun now feeling cold on my skin.
Cale was in the upper bayand today.
He was watching.
He is always watching. He believes I am making a grave error, that by elevating you I am introducing a fatal weakness. He whispers to the other traditionalists that a pack's strength flows from its alpha, not from moon-touched betas.
Is he wrong?
The old ways have kept us alive. Strength, clear hierarchy, suspicion of outsiders. These are the bones of survival in a brutal world. But bones can become brittle. They can snap under new kinds of pressure. Kale sees the risk of change. I see the risk of standing still while the world moves around us. He is not enemy, but he is not my ally in this. Remember that.
The encounter with Kale and the Bailey left a chill that wouldn't shake. It seeped into the quiet moments between lessons, a constant reminder that the walls of my cage weren't just stone and lock. My training with Gunnar grew more practical. We started on the obstacle course used by junior sentries, scaling low walls, crawling under nets, balancing on beams. My sessions with Arcturus took a darker turn. We moved from the comforting theory of the site to its grimmer historical applications.
The sight is a double-edged blade. It reveals truth, but truth can be a poison. You must cultivate a core of impartiality, of compassion, or the weight of what you see will warp you.
Lucian continued his careful, public campaign. He took me to inspect the granaries, the armory. It was a masterclass in rule, and I was his only student. But the private man was harder to read. The small, pragmatic kindnesses continued. The right book left out. A salve for a training bruise silently placed on my bedside table. Yet he remained physically distant. The only time he touched me was to guide me through a crowd, a hand on the small of my back that was more claim than comfort. Or to correct my grip on a practice dagger, his fingers firm and impersonal on mine. One evening, after a long day that included a tense meeting with his border captains, he seemed more on edge than usual.
They doubt. Not all, but enough.
Kale's faction grows bolder. They speak of natural order. They say I am bewitched by a pretty story and a beta's tears.
What do you say to them?
I say the natural order left us bleeding on a dozen borders for 100 years. I say the old ways gave us Cassius at our window!
Strength is not just in the muscle, but in the ability to adapt. To see a new weapon and learn to wield it, not fear it because it looks unfamiliar. But they do not see a weapon. They see a corruption.
And you? What do you see?
I see a complication I did not ask for. A risk that could destroy everything I have sworn to protect. And I see a girl who did not ask for this either. Who is trying, against all odds, to stand up in a storm.
I'm trying.
I know. And that is the only reason we are not both already dead.
The next full moon is in 7 nights. Arcturus believes it may trigger another episode. A more controlled one, perhaps. If you are prepared, we will use it.
Use it how?
A demonstration. For the pack. A small controlled sign of the blessing. Something undeniable. It will silence some of the doubters. It will show Kale and his ink that this is not a phantom, but a tangible force aligned with Blackwood.
What do I have to do?
Arctus will guide you. We will do it in the sacred grove at the heart of the hold. Only the pack elders and captains will be present. A small, influential audience. Can you do it?
I don't know, but I will try.
Then we prepare.
The next day, the atmosphere in the hold changed subtly. The demonstration wasn't a secret. Lucian was using the rumor mill, letting the pack's curiosity build. Whispers followed me everywhere now, but they were different.
The full moon. They say the Alpha will show us her true power.
Will it hurt?
Less scornful, more awed, more fearful.
Keep your focus, girl. Power is one thing. Control is everything. Without it, that light show will be your funeral pyre. Step aside, Lady Alara.
I need to speak with her, alone.
That is not possible.
It's about the full moon. About what my father and the others are planning. You need to hear this. Rylan, wait at the end of the corridor, please. I will stay in sight. Listen to me. My father, he and the others, Borin, a few of the older captains, they don't believe the blessing story. They think it's a trick or a sickness. They think Lucian is compromised. They're scared. I know they're scared. So am I. You don't understand! They're not just talking. They're planning. For the full moon in the grove. Planning what? If the demonstration is weak, if it's unconvincing, or if it goes wrong, they'll use it as proof. Proof that you're a danger, a corrupting influence. They'll challenge Lucian's judgment, publicly, in the grove. They'll demand he renounce you, send you away, or worse. Why are you telling me this? Because I'm scared too. I hate you. I do. For taking a place that should have been mine. For bewitching him. But this is madness. Challenging the Alpha during a sacred rite? It's not dissent, it's treason. It will tear the pack apart. And my father, if Lucian wins, he'll kill him. If the challengers win, the pack will be led by fear and old hatreds. We'll be devoured by Bloodfang within a year. There's no winning. Only blood. Does Lucian know? I don't think so. They've been careful. Meetings in the deep woods. Coded messages. I only know because I listened at doors. Because my father drinks too much ale and talks to his friends thinking I'm just a silly girl. Thank you. Don't thank me. I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing it for Blackhood. Now you know. Do something with it, or we're all dead.
What did she want?
She wanted to warn me. I need to see the Alpha. Now.
She asked to see you. It's urgent.
Enter.
Leave us. Ryland said it was urgent. That Alara spoke to you.
Kale. Borin. Others. They're planning to challenge you. During the full moon demonstration.
I know.
You know?
Val's people have ears in the shadows too. The whispers were too loud, too coordinated to be mere grumbling. They've been meeting,
arming their rhetoric.
I knew a confrontation was coming. I did not know they would be foolish enough to choose the grove. Alara confirmed the location.
She said if the demonstration is weak or goes wrong, they'll use it as proof. They'll demand you renounce me. Publicly.
Renounce you?
They want blood, Evelyn. A show of weakness from me would be an invitation for a formal challenge to my leadership. They want to purge what they see as a sickness. And you are the symptom. They can't see that the true sickness is their own fear!
So what do we do?
We turn their trap into our stage. The demonstration must not just be good. It must be irrefutable. It must shake them to their cores, leave no room for doubt or dissent. Can you do it?
Arcturus says I have no control, that it might not happen at all.
Then we must make it happen. Then we will change the plan. Arcturus has spoken of a catalyst, an object of strong lunar irradiation, something to focus and amplify the connection.
What object?
The Moonstone, a relic of the first Blackwood Alpha. It is said to have been blessed under a lunar eclipse. It's kept in the deepest vault. It has not seen the light of the moon in 5 generations.
A relic. Amplification. And if it doesn't work? Or if it works too well?
Then we fight. If they challenge, I will answer. But a fight in the grove on such a night will fracture the pack beyond repair. The demonstration is our only peaceful gambit. This is no longer just about hiding or surviving. This is about claiming your place. Not as a beta. Not as a blessing, but as a force. The only force that might unite this pack instead of tearing it apart. Do you understand?
I understand.
Good. From now until the full moon, you train with Arcturus twice a day. Gunnet will give you only light drills. We need you rested, not bruised. You will eat what Arcturus prescribes. You will sleep when ordered, and you will not leave my chambers unless escorted by Rylan or myself. The risk of interference is too high.
What about Alara? She risked a lot to warn me.
Her loyalty to the pack overrode her personal hatred. That is a valuable trait. She will be watched, protected, and if we survive this, she will be rewarded. You handled that well. You listened, you assessed, you brought the information directly. That is how an Alpha's consort acts.
The next 3 days were a blur of focused, silent intensity. My world shrank to 3 rooms: Lucian's chambers, the library, and a small, private meditation chamber Arcturus had prepared, lined with silver-shot stone that seemed to hum with a faint energy. Arcturus worked me tirelessly. We practiced the meditations with a new urgency.
The cord must be unbreakable. Yes. The connection is strong. On the night, you will hold it. You will focus your entire will through it, towards the moon. You will ask for nothing. You will simply open the channel.
And then?
And then we pray the goddess is listening.
Lucian was a constant, silent presence in the periphery. The cracks in his armor were gone, sealed under a layer of grim, determined focus. The night before the full moon, I couldn't sleep. I lay in the massive bed, staring at the canopy, the moonstone a cool, heavy weight on the table beside me, wrapped in black velvet.
You should be sleeping.
I can't.
Neither can I.
When I was a boy, my father told me being Alpha was about making choices for the good of the pack, even when every choice feels wrong.
I never understood that until now. Bringing you here was a choice. Keeping you here after the mark, another. Forcing this demonstration, perhaps the most dangerous of all. If I am wrong, many will die. The pack I love will shatter.
You're not doing it alone.
No, I am not. And that is the most terrifying choice of all.
Get some rest, Evelyn. Tomorrow we face the moon and our wolves.
The day of the full moon dawned cold and clear. A hushed, electric tension permeated Blackwood Hold. Arcturus came in the morning, performing a final series of breathing exercises with me.
Remember, you are not summoning, you are allowing. You are the chalice, and the moonlight is the wine. Let it fill you. Do not try to grasp it.
Wear this. It is tuned to the larger stone. It will help focus the connection. Whatever happens tonight, do not show fear. Fear is a crack they will pry open. You are moon-blessed. Believe it. Make them believe it.
It is time, my lady.
We gather under the watchful eye of our Mother Moon on a night of power and portent. We bear witness to a sign, a blessing upon our pack and our Alpha's house. Let the skeptics be silent. Let the beliefful see. Place your hands upon the stone. The goddess walks among us! The moon has spoken. Her blessing is upon us, upon this union. Let no wolf of Blackwood doubt again. Our strength is renewed, our path is clear.
Well,
I'm intact. It worked. Better than I think it worked.
It did more than work.
drink. It will help with the chill.
Kale. He won't challenge you. Not now.
You sound certain.
I am. The light, it touched him. It saw his fear.